Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing super well. Welcome to the third trimester vlog. I can't believe it's the third trimester. I am bang on 28 weeks pregnant today, and I am in the hospital car park about to go in for my gestational diabetes test. I have been not dreading it, but I don't like getting my blood taken, and I have to get it taken twice in one day, so I'm kind of dreading it. But I'm gonna head in just a second. So if you're from the UK, if you are at risk for diabetes, or your BMI is over 30 at the time of your pregnancy, you have to have a gestational diabetes test. There are lots of other risk factors that your midwife will go through with you. But my BMI was over 30, so I have to have a gestational diabetes test, and I had to stop eating at 10 p.m. last night. So I stopped eating at about 9:30 last night. And I can't eat anything until the test is done. I can drink water, which is nice. It's not completely depriving you of food and drink, but you can't eat or drink anything apart from water, which is gonna be tough because I'm already pretty hungry and I've not even started the test yet. So they're gonna take my blood, give me a sugary drink, and then after 2 hours they're going to take my blood again and see how my body processes the glucose. So yeah, that's going to be a fun start to 28 weeks. So Tom is at home with Teddy and I'm just about to go in. So I've got to be at the hospital for the whole 2 and a bit hours basically. So I've got a book, I've got my headphones. Yeah, it's going to be a fun morning. I was supposed to get petrol before I came to the hospital, but it was right in the middle of work rush. So yeah, I couldn't get any petrol, so I'm going to have to do that afterwards. But I need to get some more pajamas for my hospital bag anyways. So I need to pop into town after I finish my appointment. So yeah, let's see how this appointment goes. Later. Right, I'm so sorry if the lighting's terrible. It is dark outside and I've got lights on because it's so dark, but I've been crying for the past 2 hours. Guess who has gestational diabetes? I was not expecting that. It's a massive curveball from the universe that I was not expecting. So I've been crying about it for like the last 2 hours, but I've let myself feel those emotions and now I feel okay about it. So the specialist midwife gave me a call earlier and said you do have gestational diabetes. It's definitely not the worst case she's seen. So basically when you have your 2-hour glucose test, you have your blood taken before the test, before you have the sugary drink, and that is your resting glucose levels, and mine was absolutely fine. Mine was below the threshold, but it was the 2-hour mark test that I failed on. So for it to be considered normal, it has to be below 7.8. So that's basically the amount of glucose in your blood per milliliter. So 7.8, and mine was at 9.4. So the plan at the moment is on Friday, so today is Wednesday, I am going to go and see the specialist diabetes midwife in the antenatal unit at the hospital. We are then going to see if it can be controlled by diet and doing a bit more exercise. So I've got to do finger pricks every day, which I'm kind of dreading because I'm a wimp with pain. So I've got to test my blood every day, my glucose blood levels every day. Probably going to test them for a couple of weeks with just changes in my diet and exercise. If that all seems okay, then I'll still keep in regular contact with the midwife, but we won't need to do anything more. If my blood is still showing really high glucose levels, then I will need medication or I will need insulin, depending on what the scenario is and how bad it is. So yeah, not something I was expecting, but we've just got to deal with it. There is 3 months left of this pregnancy, and I'm hoping, I don't know what the rules are for my hospital, but I'm hoping and keeping my fingers crossed that if I can keep it under control with diet and exercise, that I can still give birth in the birthing centre. I just need to give my midwife plenty of warning that I do have gestational diabetes, but my blood sugar has been kept under control. So yeah, that was a bit of a curveball that I wasn't expecting. And I am probably going to be offered a growth scan at 36 weeks to see how baby is doing. If it looks like he's going to be on the bigger side, then I will be offered an induction. And if he is measuring far too big, then I may have to have a C-section. C-section is not a desirable option for me, but obviously I'll do whatever I have to keep him safe and to make sure he comes into the world safely and with minimal risk. But my ideal situation is that I can still give birth vaginally in the birthing centre with the midwives. But I think that's just going to be a case of seeing what happens at this 36-week appointment and if I have no other complications as well. So if he seems to be growing okay, his growth isn't happening too fast, everything like that, if that's all okay, then I can more than likely have a normal vaginal birth in the birthing centre, but we're just going to have to cross that bridge when we come to it. And right now I'm just feeling a bit meh about it because it means that I have to cut out a lot of the foods that I do like. I do have a very big sweet tooth, so that's going to be hard. And I'm going to have to start eating more fruits and vegetables and everything like that. And seeing, like measuring what's in my food and managing it a lot more. So yeah, we're going to see what the midwife says on Friday. So I'm now 28 weeks and 5 days pregnant, looking very basketball-like, but I am about to take my blood sugar for lunch. Let me just move that back a bit. So I probably will have put it on the screen, but I will give a trigger warning that you may see a needle or a little bit of blood. But this is what I've got. So this is my little testing kit. My own little sharps bin and my blood glucose testing record. So I've been testing since yesterday lunchtime and all my levels have been good so far. I just have to keep an eye out for anything that's gonna trigger it and make me spike. So I saw my midwife, my specialist midwife for my gestational diabetes, and yeah, I've got everything sorted. So I've got my test strips and everything. I've got a repeat prescription for the strips and the needles. So yeah, I've just got to test and see how it's going. So yeah, we're going to see if it can be controlled with diet, which it looks like it's working so far, but it's been just over 24 hours, so I'm probably going to have the odd spike here and there. Make sure that's on 3. So I have to test 4 times a day. The house is really quiet, but if you can hear the washing machine, I'm sorry. So let's do here. Let's see. 8.2. So that was a bit too much. So I might have had a few too many grapes or something, or it could be anything. So this is basically just to see where I can cut down. And I also had 50-50 bread rather than like brown bread, so it could be anything. But yeah, the house is very quiet. Tom has taken Teddy out for the afternoon, so I was at work all morning, and then I had my flu jab which took so much longer than I was expecting it to. Like, it took forever because there was a massive queue of people, and yeah, but it's done now. We're having our 4D scan tomorrow, which I'm super excited for. So we get to see what he looks like, and I'm super excited. Let's just pull that out. And I'm going to reload with the next needle as well, so I don't have to think about it. But yeah, we've got our 4D scan tomorrow, and I'm super excited. So yeah, and then next week Tom is actually away on a work trip overnight, which I'm kind of dreading. It's the first time that anything like that has happened since Teddy's been born, basically. Since we've even been together, he's never been away from me for more than, like, there was one time where I had to go and visit my mum and dad and he couldn't come with me, and I was away for like a few days. That was hard, but that was when we first started dating. It's like 7 years ago, so we've been joined at the hip for like 7 years. And he's going away for a work trip. It's only overnight, so he's going Tuesday morning and coming back Wednesday afternoon. But kind of dreading it a little bit, but it's fine. I know I can work through it. I'm just feeling a bit nervous about it because Teddy is going through some rough emotions right now, and yeah, it's all right. I know it'll be fine, but yeah. So that's what's happening. 4D scan tomorrow. Monday, something's happening on Monday, I can't remember. Tuesday, Wednesday, Tom's away. Friday, I've got my first growth scan. So we're gonna get to see little boy a lot more than anticipated, but that's fine. So yeah, we'll just have to see how everything goes. I really hope that it goes okay tomorrow. I'm so excited to see him and see his little face. So fingers crossed he plays ball, but we'll just have to wait and see. So I am now 30 weeks and 1 day pregnant. I am sporting the beach ball. I'm sorry if you can hear the washing machine in the background, but we finally had our 4D scan. We went the first time and he was not playing ball. He had his hand, his knee, his foot right up by his face, and he was breech as well. So that made it a bit more difficult. Let me just shut my door. So they said, can you come back next week? And I had my first growth scan for gestational diabetes on the Friday, and then we were going to go for our 4D on the Saturday. So I went for my growth scan on the Friday, and he has flipped. He is now head down, and don't I know it, because all I want to do is pee all the time, because his head is so low down now. And then we had our 4D scan on Saturday, and I'll put some footage in here. Oh my god, it was so amazing. He is the absolute double of his brother. The absolute double. And we saw his little hands up by his face. We got to see him yawning as well in 4D, which was just absolutely crazy. Yeah, I just can't believe we're hopefully in single figures now. Hopefully in the final countdown. And I'm going to do another video, I think, of everything we've bought this time round that we didn't have with Teddy, like a newborn baby haul, but I'll probably do that at some point. I might
because we've still got a couple of things to get, so I might do that like November-ish time, once we've got everything, like end of October, start of November. But yeah, I'm so excited. I just can't believe that we are a few weeks away from meeting our second baby, and it's really starting to hit me now. But yeah, that's the little update I've got. So I'll update you guys in probably a couple of weeks. Oh my goodness, you guys, what a palaver of a few weeks it's been. I haven't updated for a little while, just because I thought everything was going pretty normal. And then we had a big curveball come in. So I was having growth scans because of the gestational diabetes, and the last one I had at 32 weeks, basically baby was measuring a bit small, and they said that that can sometimes happen with gestational diabetes, and we just like they keep up with the growth scans and make sure. But his growth had actually slightly dropped, and then they said come in for something called a Doppler scan, which is where they check the blood flow to and from the baby. So they did that, and it's something called umbilical PI, which is basically the amount of resistance and pressure in the umbilical cord. Mine was measuring very high, and it had a sudden jump from the previous ultrasound. So I saw the diabetic consultants, and they said we want to get a second opinion on that, just because the jump was so sudden. So we'll send you to the fetal medicine consultant. Could you come in this afternoon? And obviously I said yes. And luckily the fetal medicine consultant is the consultant who I saw in the preterm labour clinic who put my cervical stitch in. So it wasn't a brand new face I was meeting. I knew him very well. And then he did the scan, the Doppler scan, and he got the exact same readings, if not higher. So he decided to dig a little deeper, and it turns out I have something called placental insufficiency. So basically, when my placenta was forming, it didn't form fully, and I actually have little pockets of just nothing in my placenta. So baby isn't getting the right amount of oxygen and nutrients he needs. So he's growing, but he's growing very slowly for where he should be. So he's measuring about, the last scan I had, I'm sorry if you can hear the rain outside, it's absolutely chucking it down. He was measuring about £4.5, which is still, it's a decent weight, but he could be smaller because the growth scans can be inaccurate. So yeah, I have now gone from being a moderate risk pregnancy, who would be induced at 40 weeks, to now an extremely high risk pregnancy who is being induced at 37 weeks. And I am 34 weeks pregnant tomorrow. So we have 3 weeks maximum, because if his growth continues to drop, or they do a brain Doppler as well to check the blood flow in the brain. If that becomes severely abnormal, then they will want to deliver earlier. It's all been an overload of information, and Tom and I have been processing it, and you know, we're still not completely done processing it because it's serious. It affects about 1 in 10 pregnancies, which is pretty common. I think it was about 8% of pregnancies everywhere, worldwide. So yeah, I asked what could have caused it, and he basically said it could be the gestational diabetes, but it could also just be luck of the draw, and I could have done nothing to prevent this. And you know, it's a lot. Like, I'm mad I feel so mad and disappointed in my body because I had to have the cervical stitch put in because my body can't hold a pregnancy past a certain point, and my risk of preterm labour is really high. And now, you know, my placenta hasn't formed properly, and I just feel so irritated and mad. But you know, he's still safe in there. He is still growing. He is still healthy from what they can see. We don't know about mental challenges he might have later on in life. We don't know if he's going to have intellectual problems or learning difficulties. We don't think he will. The doctor doesn't think he will because he's definitely getting not as much oxygen as he needs, but he's not being deprived of oxygen, so that's called infant hypoxia. So he's not getting any of that. He is still receiving nutrients and receiving oxygen, just not as much as he should be. He's not being completely deprived, but yeah, it may get to a point in the next couple of weeks where the consultant says he needs to come out. He is not safe in there anymore. So we are mentally preparing for that every appointment. So I'm now being scanned 2 times a week, and I'm also having a CTG done where they check baby's movements and my uterus activity, basically. It's a lot. I'm now having to take my maternity leave 2 weeks earlier than expected. So I've got my last 2 shifts this week, and then after that, if they decide we're going to keep him until 37 weeks, that's fine. I have 2 weeks to rest and recuperate and just, you know, prepare my mind and my body for being induced, because I've got no idea what to expect. I went into labour naturally with Theodore, so it's just so much. It is so much. And I have to be very vigilant about tracking his movements as well, because if he's not active, because of the placental insufficiency, there is a higher risk of stillbirth, and I have to be very, very vigilant, because it is drummed into you, even if you have a completely normal pregnancy, that from 24 weeks you need to track your baby's movements. And it is known that babies who are in utero with placental insufficiency move a lot less. Luckily, that hasn't been the case for me. He definitely has weaker movements than with Theodore, but he moves about a lot. So yeah, that is what is going on. So we have 3 weeks until this baby is coming, and I'm just mentally prepping myself. My hospital bag is pretty much packed. I just have to pack a little backpack with snacks and, with snacks and phone chargers, last minute things. It's just a lot to take in at the moment, but he is safe in there currently and he seems happy enough, so I am taking that. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little update. We are going to put the car seat in today, which is going to be very strange, seeing 2 car seats in the back of the car. And we're going to set up his Moses basket in our room as well. We're hoping that even if he is born before 37 weeks, he will need minimal NICU time. That's the hope. You know, there is a chance that even if he is born at 37 weeks, he may need some help breathing, or, you know, because it's going to be a lot for his tiny little body to take. So I'm hoping that we can get him at least above 5 pounds before 37 weeks. But that's what these scans are for, to track his weight, make sure it's not dropping any further and everything like that. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated, and probably I was going to do like a whole prepping for baby vlog, but I'm probably just going to include those clips in here because It's going to be very short and very sweet because I've packed my hospital bag. I'm definitely going to do a what's in my hospital bag video. That will be coming. It'll be out probably before this video is. I just wanted to update you guys on what was going on. So yeah, I will update you guys as soon as anything changes, but for now we are just patiently waiting and taking it day by day and appointment by appointment. So I am now 34 weeks and 5 days pregnant, and today is my last day of work. And I was saying that 2 weeks earlier than expected. I wasn't meant to start my maternity leave until the 18th of November, and today's the 4th. But I also wasn't expecting to be induced 3 weeks early. So yeah, today's my last day of work. I'm just getting ready and doing all that stuff. I've already cried once today. Because I work with kids and I get to see them every week of the year pretty much, apart from school holidays. And you do develop that bond and that relationship with them. And the older kids that I see will be there when I get back. They'll all be in school. And that makes me feel really emotional because those are the ones that I've developed, you know, a bond with, and I've become friends with the mums and the dads, and I don't know, there's just something really emotional about it. But I know I have to do this. This is what I have to do. I need a couple of weeks rest before we have another baby, and I need to mentally and physically prepare myself for being induced and all the other possibilities that could happen, like a C-section or anything like that. I need to try and mentally prepare myself, and I need as much time as possible, and I want to spend the last couple of weeks and the last couple of weekends with Tom and Teddy before everything changes. And I know that it's going to be a big shock for Teddy as well, so I want to make as much time as I can for him, because once I go in that hospital to be induced, I won't be coming back out unless I have a baby. And that's going to be a big adjustment for him. It's going to be a big adjustment for all of us, but you know, Teddy's only 3. There's only so much he can wrap his little brain around. So yeah, today is my last day of work. I'm posting off the last of my paperwork today for maternity allowance, because they've sent me the reply with like how much I'm getting and everything, and then I have to send another form back saying officially when I finish work, which is today. So I've got to send that letter off. We're probably going to do that on the way to dropping me off. Tom and Teddy are then going to get a haircut while I'm at work. It's just going to be very emotional saying goodbye, I think, because of the way that it's fallen. I get more than a year off. I'll still have like keeping in touch days and everything like that, but you know, I'm not going to be back for a whole year. That's more than a whole year, like a year and 2 months. So yeah, it's just really strange. But yeah, I'm probably going to cry if I remember today. Oh my goodness, you guys, it seems like forever. Let me just adjust that a little bit. It seems like forever since I've kind of sat down. This pregnancy vlog, this third trimester vlog, has been so chop and change, and like I've hardly had time to sit down and film anything. But today is Tuesday, so I am being induced in 6 days time, which is it's scary. I'm scared. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared. But I've had my penultimate antenatal appointment at the hospital, so I'll show you what bump looks like. So this is how we are looking at 36 weeks. I definitely feel a lot smaller than I did with Teddy. I remember being like out here. I remember being humongous. So he is probably going to be a very diddy baby. My induction is booked for Monday, so in 6 days time. And I had a nice chat with the midwife in the antenatal clinic today. And she basically gave me the rundown and said I'd pack. She said that she'd pack for like a 3-day stay in hospital from the time that baby's born. So I think I've got about 2 days worth of clothes in there, but that's all I can fit in. But I can always ask Tom to come home and, you know, pick up stuff for me and put stuff in the wash and all that kind of stuff. So at the minute it is just resting, getting last minute things sorted. So the one piece of advice that I was given by the midwife is to not be on tenterhooks the day of. If I need to go and do something in the morning, do it, because the reality is I may not be called in until the afternoon possibly. So we are just going to have to see how things go. Yeah, I'm going to film my last pregnancy update tomorrow, but I'm going to try and do it with Tom here. Our car is getting some repairs done on it tomorrow. So it depends on when he gets home. So depending on how long the repair is going to take, if he's going to stay out or not, I may do it by myself. We'll just have to see. And then I'm seeing my community midwife tomorrow to kind of have a catch up with her, because I've been primarily under the hospital now for all my care. So I'm just having a little catch up with her tomorrow, going through my birth plan, everything like that. Feeling very anxious about it now, but I have been discharged from the diabetic clinic. I've got to check my blood sugars a few times once baby's born, and baby has to have his blood sugars checked as well. So yeah, we are just gonna have to wait and see. But they're happy with all of my blood sugar levels. I've had like the occasional spike here and there. So it's been pretty well controlled with diet, which is really good, because I've not needed metmorphin or insulin or anything like that, which is really, really good. So yeah, now I'm just trying to prep my body really, and trying not to think about it too much. But I had a little scan today as well, which was nice. I got to see his little face, and he was like nibbling on his fingers. So, and that was really nice. And he looks just like Teddy. He's got like a proper little overbite and everything. And I'm just, it's a lot sooner than we would have hoped or we would have wanted. But I cannot wait to see his little face for the first time. Like, I remember, like, because we've had the 4D scan done, we know roughly like mostly what he looks like. With Teddy, we didn't have that. He's pretty much just this bit of Teddy. But Teddy's starting to understand it a bit more. And I think I'm just feeling more anxious about leaving Teddy for so long. This will be the longest I have been away from him since he's been born. We've left him overnight once, and that was when he was about just over 1, I think. Just over a year old. And this is going to be the longest that I've been away from him, and Tom's been away from him. So Tom's mum and dad are coming here to look after him, and I'm more anxious about that than about birth. But my dad-in-law literally just looked me in the eye the other day and said, once you enter that hospital, he is not your problem until you come back out again. You know, you need to think about getting baby out safe and keeping yourself mentally, you know, sound, and not having all these other things, you know. And they've had 6 children, so I trust them completely. It's just the fact that I'm gonna start crying when I leave here, when me and Tom leave here on Monday morning to go to the hospital. That will be the last time that I hug my baby as my baby. He will not be the youngest anymore. He will grow up right before my eyes when I come back with his little brother, and I don't think my heart's quite ready for it. And you know, he's having a tough time with his emotions at the moment. He knows that there's a baby coming, and he seems to be more excited about it. It's just the fact that he's always going to be my baby, always, but he's not going to be the baby anymore. And I find that really emotional for some reason. And just the fact that he is going to grow in a split second as soon as I see him with his little brother. And it's emotional, like it's really starting to hit me now that we are done with growing our family. And the reality of that is kind of set in a bit more. And I just feel so emotional about it because like I know that it's the right decision for our family. I know that especially with everything that's happened with this pregnancy, I don't want to put my body through that again. You know, I would have to have a cervical stitch put in again. That's now happened in both pregnancies. And it was a lot physically, mentally, emotionally. And I don't want to do that again. And we would have to move house. We would have to get a new car. And it wouldn't work for our family. So I think we are done. But it's just that final, we are done. That is it. No more children. And when I go into that hospital, that's the last time I'm going to go into the hospital to have a baby. And I think I'm going to be a bit of an emotional wreck on the day. Because obviously it's a lot. I'm going in to have a baby and then that's it. That's our family complete and done. Yeah, I thought I'd just come on and have a little rant about how I'm feeling so close to induction and giving birth. And he's definitely dropped because I can breathe a bit easier. And last week when I had a CTG done, they wanted to feel, I had a student midwife ask if she could feel where his head was. And then the qualified midwife came in and checked. And she said that his head was really, really nicely engaged. So he is engaged, head down. So hopefully, once labour gets going, he'll be in the right position. It's going to be getting into labour that's going to be the tough part because I don't think my body will be quite ready for it yet. But yeah, I just thought I'd come on, have a little talk about how I'm feeling. And yeah, I'll probably catch up with you guys in a few days and a few days before induction, and I'll probably end up finishing the vlog at some point. This last third trimester vlog, this has been very, very short compared to the other two vlogs that I've done, but this trimester has ended 3 weeks earlier than we originally expected. So yeah, it's not long now until we have another little baby in the house. So it is the 19th of November 2023 and it is mine and Tom's 7-year dating anniversary today, but also the day before my scheduled induction at 37 weeks. So I'm 36 weeks and 6 days. And we are pretty much all prepped. We have got the bags ready. I just need to put a few things, like I've got my outfit ready and out for tomorrow. We just need to pack Tom's bag, which is going to have a lot of last minute things in it, like phone chargers, and he needs to pack a couple of changes of clothes and swim trunks just in case. But yeah, this is the end of the third trimester vlog. I can't believe that we are now at the end of this pregnancy. We are done. It is finished. Hopefully this time tomorrow I will be in labour, or at least very early stages of labour, but it does depend on what time they call me in. So instead of having all the inductions scheduled that day come in at the same time, they ring you and tell you when they're ready for you. So when you get in, they can start your induction straight away, rather than you've been sat around twiddling your thumbs basically. So they could call me at 7:30 in the morning, they could call me at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I just do not know. Feeling very scared, very overwhelmed, very excited. I'm very, very excited. It feels like Christmas almost, like Christmas Eve. I was up at 5:30 this morning, and I probably will be tomorrow as well. But yeah, feeling very anxious and excited to meet our second little boy. Everything is pretty much ready. Just got to get bags in the car. Tom's got to pack a bag. We've written a little checklist for Teddy, for Tom's mum and dad, for when like we leave. That's what I'm more anxious about. I'm more anxious about leaving Teddy for so long. I feel very sad that this pregnancy's coming to an end, and yeah, I'm just wanting, there's just that little piece of me that's just wanting to hold on to it for a little bit longer, because we don't get that element of surprise anymore. Like, oh, it's go time, we need to go to the hospital. We don't get that this time. Like, it's all very, you know, planned out for us. So hopefully this time tomorrow I'm in at least early stages of labour, or at least at the hospital. I'm hoping. We're just going to have to see what happens. I'm going to try and film a birth vlog. I can't guarantee it, but I will try. Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I've asked Tom to like write down times of when things happen. He did that with Teddy, and we were able to do a birth story video because everything progressed quite quickly with Teddy's birth, but it also got super intense super quick. So I think the last thing I would have wanted was a camera in my face, whereas this time, you know, I want to make those memories because it's the last time we're doing it. But yeah, we have had a really nice day today. It's about 2:30, I want to say. I don't know the exact time. But we went swimming this morning. Teddy had his swimming lesson. It was the last time that I got in the pool with him. It's going to be the last time for a while. And then we went to Costa. We went to a little coffee shop and had a really nice lunch. And then for dinner, we are going to go to Tom's granddad's house and just spend time with family before we add another little set of footprints to it. And I'm so excited, but I'm so nervous. But yeah, I hope you guys have really enjoyed this pregnancy journey. It's been a whirlwind. Let me say that. It's been, I can hear Teddy playing with his toys downstairs and it's really distracting. Yeah, it has been a humongous whirlwind. Would I change any of it? Apart from the fact that, you know, what we have, which is IUGR, can be quite serious. It can be detrimental to life. I wouldn't have wished that upon any pregnant woman at all, because it is a scary situation to be in. And yeah, I'm just glad that he's moving and he's okay. And I'm expecting him to be very, very tiny. But yeah, other than that, I wouldn't have changed anything about this pregnancy. And it's made me realise how precious some consultants are. The consultants that I've had, or the main consultant that I've had, I should say, has been like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. He has been so kind, so caring, so considerate of my decisions, what I want to do. He put my cervical stitch in. He decided to do a bit more digging when he realised something wasn't quite right. And without him, we wouldn't have found these issues of him being so small, and why he's so small. So yeah, I'm feeling very, very grateful, very scared, anxious, but I'm so excited. And I can't wait to introduce you all to our second little boy. So I'm going to wrap up this third trimester vlog and the last pregnancy vlog here. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed these videos. I've really enjoyed making them and kind of documenting my pregnancy as real and as raw of a way as I can. But yeah, I will see you guys very, very soon with a new little member to our family. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.